I'm going to show you how to scrape over 50,000 leads in under a minute. It'll only cost under 1.2 US dollars per 1,000 leads. So this is step 3 of our whole process of how to do automated sales. If you've seen from my article over here, step 1 was define who your ICP is. Then we do deep research to refine that ICP. Then once we have our ideal customer profile or ICP, then we can now do lead scraping. The whole goal of it was to get something that looked something like this. We have job title, keywords, flow, the location, job title, company size, keywords. We can take this exactly as it is. And if you want to, you can ask AI to give you multiple personas so that you can test to see which persona converts better. But I prefer to scrape around 500 at a time and have different personas. Eventually, I'll change this node into sort of an input database node which has the different profiles. But I'm just going to show you from high level how does it work. I'm going to open up this chat over here, right? And what we had before was, I did this for another client where we had our chat input, teachers in South Africa, location Kenya and South Africa. There must be principals versus normal standard teachers, K-12, and focus on STEM or science, technology, engineering and math. So what that will do is that it'll come back here and create a URL that will go into Apollo. Now, to set this up, what you need to do is you need to go into Apify. You need to set up a paid account. There's no ways around it because they will only give you access to the API if you up on a paid subscription. You know, you can get your return on investment if you get at least 2 or 3 clients, at least for me at my $47 per month plan. And if you must look for the Apollo scraper that's over here. So this one here will tell you, okay, Apollo scraper, they've got about 61,000 people who are using this. It's got really great reviews, and this is the URL that we're looking for. Now this part you can use free, but if you are using it on the web version, so you can scrape leads here for free, I think up to 1,000 I think, and you can do it right here. You can see the number of total records required, and then you'll get, if you do your runs, if you come over here, you'll see all of the leads that you can scrape. So make sure that once you have a paid account, you can go over here to API. You can get your API key from here. You can test the different endpoints and then bring it back into N8N, which you'll bring into this node over here. For me, I've got the app that does the scraping, the Apollo scraper, and then I put in my token key right over here. So the input is the Apollo URL, and what you have on the output is the leads that are tailored to your search. So for me, I've got, you know, this guy who's a teacher. We've got their LinkedIn profile, their personal one, and one for their company. We've got all of this other data that tells you what grade level they are, if they do have it. In this case, we have their title, we have the name of the school that they are, and there's a lot more data that you can extract just from this so that I can do some debugging and testing over here. And now it's showing an error over here, but that you don't have to be worried. It's only because it's only doing that because it's not detecting an email in one of the leads. So we output the data over here, and you can see this is the item that doesn't have the email, and we only want to pass the ones that we have the email so we can do cold outreach to them. We can obviously keep that data for later on where we can contact them via LinkedIn, so that shouldn't be a problem. We can upload it to Google Sheets. You can decide how you want to handle this data. Now over here it's giving me an error because I already have the same data saved in Supabase. So if I go back there, Supabase, I have a project called lead scraping, and you can basically create one for free right over here. I have this SQL which I'll have in the corporate automation library, the link down below. Comment AI automation down below if you want to get this SQL. So that's right over here. I delete everything from the old database so that when you load the new database, it's already there. If I run this now, it should pass the check right over there. So yeah, that is how you scrape 50,000 leads. I recommend that you do 500 at a time because that's the minimum that you can do via Apify. Otherwise, if you do less than 500 via Apify, it's going to give you an error. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to refine my leads a bit more, spend some time on that, and have a list of maybe 5,000 to 10,000 leads. So I'm going to take these leads into the next video and show you guys how do you enrich the data such that you can. So if you're interested in checking this video, click right over here.